Welcome back to our Pompey Walk episode 26. We're reviewing another away defeat. What has got to change on Pompey's travels? Some fans are saying we need to push Colby higher up the pitch away from home. He's playing as a 10 role. Plus, we're talking about West Brom and Devlin, plus other woes. Transfer windows closing this week. What do Pompey need to do? And we're choosing our worst ever backline that has played for the Blues. Thank you very much for joining us. It's 20 minutes of Pompey chat. If you've not come across us before, do drop us a subscribe. Thank you very much for being along with us. We are, of course, chatting, Sam, again about West Brom 5, Portsmouth 1. And I chuckle when I say that because here we are. Here we are again. We should be talking about the Stoke result because, of course, what a performance that was. And yet we are stuck with this enigma of why you can't perform away. Views on it?
I mean, it's just life being a Pompey fan. It's just ups and downs constantly. You think you're Thursday morning thinking a good 3-1 result. We're up to 18th and things are looking better. And then now this morning, you're looking back at yesterday, 5-1. It's just like completely don't know where it's gone wrong. But we've been in the same position before. So we've got to look forward to Tuesday now.
Do you think Tuesday had an impact on it, Sasha? There's lots of people saying he chose the B team, some decisions because of the Stoke game. He's traded this one off to get 3 points against Millwall. Was that how you saw it?
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of felt like Mousinho already accepted defeat, regardless of whatever team we put out. So he was just like, look, better chance of winning against Millwall on Tuesday. Let's just go out, put a second team out, and then we'll have a fully fit team ready to hopefully get a win midweek.
You can understand that, can't you, Sasha? But you're a Payne fan. You travelled there yourself. Does that not wrangle with you a bit?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because obviously when you travel all that distance every week, when you pay all that money, you want to see a competitive side play. You want to see them give 110%. But I also understand it from Mousinho's perspective. You know, he has to keep us up, playing the same first 11 every single few days. We are not going to get many wins. We won't stay up doing that. So as painful as it is, I do understand, and all will be forgiven if we win on Tuesday.
I mean, you've had a rotten January with fixtures, haven't you? Both of your rescheduled games, Blackburn and Millwall, put into the already busy calendar. Sam, let's have a look at some other criticisms, though, if that's okay. Rob says you need to review your strategy, change your effing tactics away from home, and Christ alive, push Colby further forward. He plays as a 10 most of the time, and he's supposed to be a 9, and that was the view of many others saying, why is Colby playing as a midfielder? What's your view on that one?
I knew as soon as the team sheet came out, I knew that we'd lost. As soon, I think there was 6 changes made to the squad. I was like, that's it, we've lost. And like Sasha says, he put out a B team and he put out a squad that is not up to it. I do agree with the fact that Colby is further back. It's like we go there to we play away games in a totally different style, and it's frustrating. And I feel sorry for the likes of fans like Sasha that drive all that way. I think Pompey have one of the longest commutes in the league, and we go there just to get smashed. And it's really, really frustrating. And I turned it off. I was watching it, and I turned it off. I was like, there's no point in watching it. If we're just going to go there and get smashed, there is really no point. So I'll just be watching home games for the rest of the season now, I think.
Okay. Bill, let's have a look at some more. Reyes says, if you wanted to rest players, that's all fair enough. But Terry Devlin on the right is criminal. I know Blair hasn't been the best, but give him a chance to prove myself and fans and you wrong. Quite a few calling out Devlin as well. Are they right too?
I think that's a bit harsh. I know he was playing in a different position, but not so long ago, people were talking about how Devlin was suddenly pushing for player of the season because of his performances at right back. Actually, yesterday, playing in midfield, I was pleasantly surprised and reminded how good on the ball he can be. It just goes to show that the old cliche football is a game of opinions. I thought he actually started quite well, had some neat touches, nice touches, but I think it's unfair to call out Devlin. That's a collective thing yesterday. You can't pin it on one man.
Okay. Let's look at some more. We'll do that one in a minute. Chad says, Sam, 50 points almost keeps you up in the Championship. We've got lots of games around the teams around us. 30 home points available too. Mousinho picking his battles like Millwall is fine as long as we beat them. Beat those around you and it stays up. We've had this before, and I've read it in I think it was a sports psychology book I've read it in, but if you do this, the pressure that then goes on to that game you've done this for, some of the players can't cope with that, and actually it has this double kind of backfiring on you. Do you believe that actually this is potentially a wrong move and that you just start your best 11 regardless of the opposition?
I was just going to say about the pressure. Obviously, it comes with so much when you're like Sasha's gone and he's letting a lot of people down, dropping some of your best players. So I think there will be pressure on Tuesday, but you got to think as well, like some of those players have played so many games over the Christmas period and literally barely had a rest, like Murphy and Potts and like Lang and stuff. So I think as much as he was probably a bit of him protecting the players for Tuesday, I think he did have to give them a rest.
But I just want to be devil's advocate here. Like, why did he then bring them on in the second half? Like, what was the point of resting them if you're going to bring them on when it's 5-0 down? Like, if you're going to rest them and 5-0 down, like, just leave them off the bench. That's just, that's what frustrated me.
Okay.
I was going to have a slightly different view, playing devil's advocate again. If you look at the first 2 goals yesterday, based on his performance so far this season, you expect Schmidt to save them, and you're still in the game. So you can have a go at Mousinho for his changes. I think he had no choice because of the amount of games he needed to rotate. But I thought within the first 25 minutes we were still in that game, and it was down to unfortunately 2 errors. Okay. But then it became a mental issue. It was mentality that then did for us.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. There were lots of tweets saying, I've just paid money for this, Mousinho, that's on you, and you're going to refund my petrol and so on. We won't put them up here, but there were tons and tons of, I won't say angry, but I think frustration was certainly the word for it. We have to respect, fans can't afford to do this every week, can they? Right, let's move on then. Before we do, let's talk about Waddington, if that's okay, Sasha. He got his goal. How was his overall performance?
I'll be completely honest, I was half watching 5-0 down. I was just singing. There's a new Josh Murphy chant, really catchy. I was just singing that. But I mean, from what I've read, I agree. He did better than Bishop did for the 60-odd minutes that Bishop played. Obviously got his goal. It was a terrible goal, really, but a goal's a goal. Gave us something to celebrate and cheer about, and hopefully it just gives him the confidence to crack on and score a few more.
Okay. All right, we'll leave West Brom aside then. A quick word on Stoke, Sam. Good to get revenge on that 6-1 thrashing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a very positive result. We played really well. We came lights out. First 20 minutes, we scored 2 goals and we put the game to bed. And it's just so. I would like to know the psychology behind it as well of why we are a different team at home to when we're away. It's bemusing. And I think Sasha said a couple of weeks ago, last season we had the best away record, and I think in all 92 clubs. So it's I don't know. I'm frustrated. I think you can tell I'm frustrated, but yeah.
It's that tiny pitch, isn't it, we keep mentioning? Definitely something to do with it. Right then, Millwall this week, which of course we'll be reviewing in 7 days' time, so join us for that. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Just because it's small numbers doesn't mean this is rubbish. It's actually very good. We've been doing for 26 weeks, so let us know your comments and your thoughts. The transfer window slams shut, though, Phil, before we get to the weekend. So this makes it a huge week for Pompey, doesn't it? On and off the pitch. If we have a look at what's happened so far in terms of the activity, as we've already mentioned, Waddington in, Rob Atkinson has come in as well. Did you personally expect there to be more than what's happened at this point?
I would have loved to see more players in for sure. I mean, the earlier you can get reinforcements, the better. But at the same time, if we have to wait for the right person, then so be it. But this is going to be a big week. Let's not beat around the bush. We have to get this right, otherwise we're heading back down. So yeah, fingers crossed. Like I say, I've got confidence in everyone at the club, but time will tell.
Luke summed it up nicely. Tweeted at the Eisners, this all could go south very quickly. Please, I appreciate Matthews is imminent. We need serious reinforcements. You don't need to spend tens of millions, but we absolutely must bring in at least 2 championship-ready players in this window, because most of that bench is effing dire. Sam, we've asked you this before, and I promise you it's the last time we're going to ask, but 4 more days between the recording and when the window shuts. What's got to happen to secure your place in this league?
It's got to be wingers for me, and like the attacking 4, like with Sadie, he had the chance, he didn't really impress. The players that were given the chance on Saturday, when players were rested, just didn't live up to anything. So I think it's just got to be at least 2 wingers for me. Maybe 1 10 and 1 winger, but we're just so short in that department. It was literally just Ritchie, Murphy, Lang, and Blair. So yeah, it's not looking strong.
When you see Hull and others around you, Sasha, properly investing and splashing a bit of cash, does it bother you? Does it mean that there's going to be fan pressure as much as possible on the owners to do something this week?
Yeah, obviously this week defines our season more than any other week of the year. This is massive for us. But you also got to remember clubs like Hull, they've been in the Championship for many years. They're going to have more money than we are as well. So you've got to take that into account. But yeah, our bench is terrible. I think when it comes to our first choice wingers, I think we're quite solid. I think both Murphy and Ritchie are brilliant options. It's just Blair's our second choice, and that's pretty much it. We've got nobody in depth that's good enough to play in the Championship. They'll be good enough in maybe a mid-table League One side, but we need to stay up this season. That's not going to be good enough. We need to bring in just a few more reinforcements and backup players that we can bring off the bench that won't decrease the quality of our team.
Okay. All right, then. It's a huge week. Let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen. Before we get to our finish one, I just wanted to ask you guys about this particular graphic, which has drawn lots of discussion and debate to the footballing world. Sam, when you look at this and we hear all the talk about the desire to get to the Premier League, our obvious question here is it worth it?
Well, thanks for showing us that graphic, because that definitely cheered me up. But Leicester won today, though, right? So they beat Spurs at the time of the recording. So I think it is. Yeah, of course it's worth it, because you're going in the best league in the world, right? Like you go into and the most lucrative league in the world where you can get that money. So I think, yeah, it's definitely worth it going to the Premier League, as we as Pompey fans see the benefits of going to the Premier League. We were there for, I think, at least, 9 years we were in the Premier League, and we saw the benefits of it. So, yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. And it's definitely worth it trying to stay in the Championship as well, because I do not want to go back down to League One again after spending 7 years in League One. So, yeah, it's definitely worth spending the money to stay in the Championship and pushing on to the Premier League.
Cheers for that. Phil, the commentary has been around that the last, 2 seasons running now, the 3 that went up are quite easily going to probably be the 3 that come down, indicating the gulf between the 2 leagues is huge. Do we need to solve that as a footballing body, or is that something that can only be solved by stopping something like parachute payments or giving more money to Championship?
Yeah, that's a really difficult question, but I think the whole thing around parachute payments for me distorts it. you can see what a basket case the Championship is financially anyway, and it gets completely distorted by the teams coming back down with, I can't even remember the numbers, but it's multiple millions of pounds in the bank, and it makes it's just feeding this perpetual sort of, everybody's gambling, or the chairman are gambling on getting up to the Premier League, and it's a dangerous game, that's for sure.
Yeah, because we could quite easily see Southampton become a yo-yo club for years, couldn't we?
Yeah.
As much as that would please all of you, I'm sure. Okay, last bit then. This week we've been talking about the worst ever Pompey 11 in the last 2 weeks. If you've been watching, we did our goalkeeper, we've done our strikers. Last week we put Dave Kitson and Tyler Walker in up front, if I've got that right. I hope I certainly have. And Ryan Schofield in goal. So this week we're doing the back four. So nice and easy. 4 of you, 4 positions to fill. Has anyone got a left back for us?
Yeah, okay. Carl Dickinson.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I forgot about this until I checked earlier on. He was so bad, for some reason, we actually signed him again on loan 2 seasons after our first season back in the Championship last time. Yeah. He was bordering on a cult figure, because he was like skinhead, he was mental, he would go in for a great tackle, but he couldn't play football. And like when he's crossing the ball, it could be either in the 6-yard box or it could be over the Milton end. You just didn't know what you were getting. So yeah,
good show.
Not
right.
best.
Anyone got a right back?
Yes,
it's a Kieran Freeman.
Oh, Talbot's a great shout.
Yeah.
Talbot's a great. I was gonna say Jimmy Traore because he was like Bambi on ice, but Talbot's a great shout.
Go on, Sam. Give us your reasoning
for Jimmy Traore.
Oh, so you said Talbot. Who said Talbot? Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, Sasha said Talbot.
Sasha said. Sorry, Sasha. Give us your reasoning.
Just. He was terrible. He really did nothing for us. And there's one game specifically, Oldham. We played Oldham, and he dropped an absolute stinker. He was at fault for the loss. He was just terrible. He was awful.
All right, Sam, have you got any centre backs at all, or any? Can you beat any?
Paul Downing, definitely. It was actually painful to watch him play. I remember the game against the Scummers. I think it was their 3rd or 4th, whatever it was, and he was literally just got spun. And it was my eyes were hurt, so he's got to be in there for me.
Okay, Sam, can you complete this quartet?
There was a Greek centre back that we signed in our Premier League days that Harry Redknapp signed. I think it was like Skopotoulos or something like that. And I think he played like 1 or 2 games and then he was done. So yeah, he was terrible. He was definitely a no name that we signed. Yeah.
Okay. Any other centre backs? Anyone? What's going on?
Ibrahim Sonko was another one that comes back to the last time we were in the Championship. We had him on loan from Stoke. That shows how bad things were. I could probably give you about 12 names during the banter years of our League One demise in the early teens, but we'd be here all night. So.
Clark Robertson.
Oh, God. No, I quite like Clark, but yeah, there's many worse than him, that's for sure.
All right, let us know in the comments any that they've obviously missed. Next week we complete the set. We're doing the midfield next week, and then we'll have our full Pompey 11. We'll get to choose our captain if we can, and choose our manager as well, which will be fun. So join us for that. Next week, of course, we're also choosing our January Player of the Month, so have a think on that one. And of course, we're going to review the Millwall game and of course next weekend's game as well. So join us all for that. Thank you very much to you four. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you hopefully next week for more positive points.